Hey guys. All right. Well, welcome to the Elliot's Everything Emporium show. I'm John Elliott, and I am your host. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and or look me up on iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that. I post on there, and of course Instagram. So, today is Friday. It is the 21st of June, and it has just flown by. It's pretty amazing. I've been doing this now a couple months, trying to really just ramp up and make this my full-time life, along with taking care of a bunch of little kids. It's definitely had some fallbacks. It's had some issues, but it's also been very engaging. Definitely a huge learning experience for me. Fortunately, I can make a couple of mistakes and be okay. So I'll just kind of get right into it. So today I went sourcing and kind of realized that, just like so many other things, you make mistakes and you kind of got to learn from what happens during them. It was kind of interesting. So one of the things that I made a mistake on and talk about those issues was I went to pick up a couple of PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, or original PlayStation games. Picked it up, thinking to myself, hey, this looks good. Got a pile of them. And I checked, out of the 10 games I bought, I checked 9. And of course, 9 of them had the games in them. One of them did not have the game in it. So, just as a future reminder, if you're buying something, check the whole thing. So unfortunately that happened. Now, I think I kind of already said this on YouTube, but this was kind of funny. So I'm at a yard sale. There's only these little kids around that are from the parents. Obviously, they live there or they're playing. And I pick up this blender. It's a Ninja blender. And I'm thinking, I think this is a good buy. Pretty sure this is a good buy because, my hunches tell me, Ninja blender, I know there was some money. And I'm about 10 feet away from my car. I walk over to my car just to pick up my phone because I'd left it in the car. By the way, another hint, don't go in blind. Take along your phone, check your prices. So I walk back to my car. I pick up my phone. I'm just about to step back out. It's maybe been like 10 seconds. I look over. There's a guy standing there picking up the blender that I was wanting to take a look at. I don't know where this guy came from, but bam, he just shows up. And I'm thinking, how did that happen? Where did this guy come from? I'm looking around. There's no cars around. Anyway, well, maybe he lived in the neighborhood or something, but yeah. So, no huge loss, not the end of the world. But learning experience. So, another thing, I can definitely tell you also is when you're looking at places that you want to go buy stuff at, take a look at the neighborhood that you're in. If it's a lot of nice houses, and it looks pretty affluent, you're probably going to find nicer things. I can tell you right now, one of the areas that I typically go to, there's 2 older people's kind of like retirement home type of places. It's basically they have houses that are just meant for old people that are on a fixed income. And I'm going to tell you the truth, they have some crazy yard sales there where they're selling off their stuff, because they probably had kids in the 70s. So they're selling off stuff from the 70s, kids' toys, coloring books, you name it, like just... So, and also a lot of times they buy high-end stuff that they don't wind up using because of, maybe it's too complicated. I don't know. Maybe, or maybe they bought it and then they just kind of lost interest in it. So like today, got a Galaxy S6, practically brand new. I don't know why they had it. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that, thank you. And, thank you for that so much. Another interesting thing that I've recently kind of gotten into is, so there's a website called govdeals.com. It's where the local governments are auctioning off their stuff. And it's it's very interesting because they sell a lot of high-end items for relatively cheap prices. So what's interesting about that is, of course, is that a lot of times they'll have things that are in very good shape, have never been used. And I can give you a good example. One of the local universities around here, they run a big dental program. Well, they were selling off X-ray equipment, which, obviously I'm a little hesitant to buy X-ray equipment just because of, it's X-rays. But doing some research, obviously this stuff is not. These are just lights and things like that. They're not hazardous. And some of the X-ray film, again, also not hazardous. Just don't open it up, because then you ruin the film, apparently. I've been selling those things off and selling them off to a dentist, which, of course, I figure, they're doctors, so they've got some money. But it's actually been, they've moved slowly, but they've definitely made me some huge money. So definitely I would say, if you're interested in reselling, I would definitely say take a look at that, especially if you're close to like where a lot of government facilities are, which most of us are. If you're reselling, most likely you don't live in the middle of nowhere. Well, hey, who knows? Maybe you do live in the middle of nowhere. That might save you a ton of money, especially on, storing stuff. So, okay, well, hey, that's it for today. Just some things that have been going on with me, and hopefully the next episode I put out is going to be less than a week, unlike what I've been doing. Just been busy with a lot of stuff, and I've had some big changes happen in my life recently, which, I'm not really going to talk about. But, all right, talk to you later. Bye.